Yeah. I love that. I did say,
No more later.
Okay, good evening councillors, members of the public. Councillor Holloway is on holiday today, so I'm standing in, please bear with me. Apologies for absence.
Councillors Livermore, Gregat and Holloway.
And any declarations of interest?
Person interest 23D.
Any more? I need to give interest in person interest in number 5. Person interest in number 20, my wife's an allotment holder. Person interest in number 23C. That's it. So, announcements. Councillors have received and should have read items A through to F, so I won't go through them. Item E, I just put out a point, that's the community infrastructure levy. The clerk and I discussed this afternoon whether or not the council would wish to put a draft report, a draft response to go onto the website that's mentioned in that document. I filled it in this afternoon and it doesn't look as though there's a facility for a group to fill it in, so I advise everybody to take a look at it and fill it in individually, and I'm assuming Councillor want that neighbourhood plan and looking closely at this.
Yes, I know that Councillor Wenham, when he was at the neighbourhood plan meeting last week, he had previously tried to object about the fact that Arlesey had been placed in the lowest banding for civil money, but he had not been successful in those in getting that change. He did say that he thought some of the reasoning that behind that decision was flawed or flaky at best, but I did ask him by email to elaborate on that, but he hasn't as yet come back to me, so I think it's worth having a conversation with Councillor Wenham just to see what his thoughts are on that process.
Okay.
Because obviously the key being that Arlesey would get significantly less CIL money because we're in the lowest band out of the three.
There is an opportunity, I don't know how many people have gone on the site and looked at the form, but on the form there is an opportunity to sort of express an interest and actually comment on up to 7 items. There's 7 items there and you can request to have updates on that, and one of them is banding. So based on what Councillor Watt has just said, it would be a good idea if we all fill it in individually to pull out banding in particular and make that point. So, and also encourage residents to do the same, because anyone can fill this in. It's on the website. As soon as you click on it, you go straight to that page. So.
I'd be surprised if we can't comment as a council though as well. But it may not be able to do it, I think, because I think there is something on there that says you can do it by other means. If you contact CBC directly, you can. I think we may be able to respond as a council.
Could you check on that?
Can we put something on the website?
Yeah, the website is for individuals to
No, on the ATC website,
right.
with the link for people if they want to fill it in.
The form is definitely personalised.
Yeah, but I think we should be able to comment as a
Okay.
council. Yeah.
Right, have you got that letter? So the fun day, I think it was generally the feeling was it was a great success. There was a kind of an ad hoc survey I think Councillor Ward carried out. I read through the comments there, and there were no negative comments other than things that are outside of human capabilities, like there was too much wind, for example. And there's a lot of good ideas for how it might be improved in the future, which I think will go into, I think Councillor Sala's got some ideas on the agenda tonight. So far with the donations to £368, was it?
Yeah.
And I will just read out this from Biggleswade Sandy Lions Club. Dear Leslie, congratulations to you and your team for all the hard work to make the fun day a success. Please accept and post cheque for £25 payable to ATC as a donation to the Mayor's charity. Please contact me when plans are taken shape for next year's event. So that's from Biggleswade Lions. And I'd just like to express mine and I think the council's appreciation for what Leslie and the town council staff in particular have done during the period of transition. They've held it together, and all in all it was a good day.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Okay, I have an announcement to read out to council here. This is point H. Arlesey Town Council have been advised of an action by a previous member of staff against the council. Please be advised that this may result in legal and/or settlement costs. Details of this matter will be discussed as exempt items from this point forward until the matter is resolved. And the next thing is the update on the yellow lines. I've got here communication from Nick Shaw, and it says, I'll read the whole thing out, it's short. Further to the meetings you have already had with colleagues regarding the parking study for Arlesey in the areas adjacent to the railway station, I have produced an informative below which sets out the scheme and how I intend to progress this. The resident survey will be forwarded to you once finalised by colleagues at Amy, prior to it being distributed to residents. Please come back to me if you would like to discuss any of the points or plans for implementation of this scheme. That's addressed to Councillor Wenham and Delgado, properly to Arlesey Town Council. So that's where we are. I know some people have spoken to members of the public to say that there is a report out, and I've heard comments that it's comprehensive and so on, but it looks as though, reading what Nick Shaw is saying, it's not for public consumption at this point in time. And an update on the Twin Acres appeal. The Twin Acres appeal was held today. Councillor Inniscog and Councillor Delgado attended. The people who were appealing were well briefed and well supported as usual. I think there was a site visit planned for this afternoon. Brief feedback I had from Councillor Inniscog is that she's not optimistic. We'll have a couple of weeks to wait on that. Okay, just before we move on, I've never chaired a meeting before, so forgive me if I stumbled. But I have read for the first time every word 5 or 6 times in the standing orders, and I will try to keep us on the track of following rules 27, 28, 29 about rules for debate, which are fundamentally different to what I've ever seen carried out at council. So it should be a shorter meeting this evening if we follow our standing orders. Members' questions?
I'm not sure this should be now or matters arising, but I have a question regarding the football goals which came up a couple of months ago. We were applying for funding of those. I wonder whether there's an update on how successful we've been.
I submitted the application at the end of June, and I've got an acknowledgement back at the beginning of July, and I'm still waiting. So we've got the money through for the play area, but I don't know whether the goals have been accepted or not yet.
Okay, statement to council. This is agenda item for me personally. Well, the only statement I've got to make now is that I have taken some advice on public participation on the 7th of July, and the statement I was intending to make to council, I've been advised that this time is not the time to make that statement, so that's the end of my statement, I'm afraid. But we've got to do things properly, so. Public participation.
Well, no one's registered, but they don't have to register anymore, so I don't know if anyone wants public participation or not.
Okay, minutes of the previous meeting. To consider the minutes of the Town Council meeting held on the 7th of July. Everybody's got the minutes of this evening.
Can I make one suggestion? I've just read 27, so I'm not sure this is a complete change to the minutes, but under item 121, where I'm looking back on the committee meeting, and the first sentence we've got, there has been a change in curriculum, which is correct. The second part of it, which says which has made an impact on performance levels, is kind of accurate, but I think it gives slightly the wrong picture. I think I'd probably report that more as the school and pupils were meeting the challenge of the new curriculum, and leave it there, because I don't recall mentioning the impact on performance of the meeting, but I understand correctly.
What would you like it to read? The first bullet point.
Part of curriculum, have a comma, and then put, but the school and pupils were meeting the challenge.
No, Matt has some of those ones because he's changing it.
Anyone? Okay.
I propose we accept those with Councillor Stanbury's amendment.
Second. Anyone happy?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of matters arising. Is that London Road? Is that for the manager?
No,
Is that
that's not.
National Road?
That's actually on the agenda now. London Road on the agenda.
That's arising. There are two, isn't there?
Seat has had to be removed, which is in the minutes.
Right, the London Road seat was visited and it's actually sheared off, so that has been removed. And I think the working party have got an action to look at long-lasting seats, so it'd be worth bearing in mind as working party that seat's no longer there because it was dangerous.
Yeah, thank you. That's not inconsistent with the report of the working party. I apologise that I haven't circulated the report that they went along with,
Yeah,
but it's not inconsistent, so I don't think there's any immediate reaction to that.
Yes, the letter about you objected to the
right, yeah.
markings.
This is Nick Shaw again. He's not a happy man that we objected to the proposed parking changes at Eatonbury School. Basically, he's saying, with an underline here, this is not a scheme to address parking issues at the school. This is proposed to increase the safety of vulnerable road users. So he's implying that we've objected on the wrong grounds, but nevertheless we've objected. He didn't like it. He's going to let us know when this will be taken to the delegated decisions meeting, that was formerly known as traffic management, and so that a town representative can attend and put forward their position on this matter. I know Councillor Livermore, who's not here tonight, was the most vociferous in opposition to it, but I'm sure he'd be happy to attend. But if anyone else,
When is it?
it doesn't say, so let us know when it is.
No,
Be interested to know when it is.
So if we let Councillor Ward and Councillor Livermore know.
Yeah.
So the key message is they believe we've misunderstood their intent, not happy that we've objected, but that is obviously our right. And we're being invited to be involved in putting forward our position on the matter and possibly understanding a bit more their side of it. Does that come in the agenda, the electrical lady, or was that the Horizon? The letter we got from Lady Sue Delighted.
That's on the
It's on
agenda.
the agenda. Okay. So, finance, income and expenditure. To receive and approve a copy of the detailed report of income and expenditure. That's in the pack. Any questions on that, or can we have a proposal to accept?
Councillor Ward wanted the earmarked reserves, which you'll find on the first page of the trial balance. But because the general reserve nothing comes out that to the end of the financial year, I've also done a secondary spreadsheet of all the expenditure that we've agreed so far.
Yeah, I
to
did
come
see
out.
it.
I hope that.
I struggled to get my head around it, so I'll probably just pop in and pick that up with it. So.
Okay. All right.
Do you have a proposal to accept? Cathy, seconder? Everyone in agreement? Petty cash, receive and approve copies of petty cash details for the Resource Centre and Town Council for June 2015 month 3. 9B.
Sorry. I have a question on this, because the two sides of the petty cash statement are calculated in different ways. I don't know which is the front side, but the sheet that's labelled 9B, there's a breakdown of cash, £29.11 at the start of the month, an expenditure of £7.62, leading to a closing balance of £21.49. But the actual report is cash left up in the top right hand corner is £28.51. So those three numbers don't agree, but if you turn the page over and do the same calculation on the other side, you start with 74.22, you spend 85.60, you add 54, and you end up with 42.62, which does agree with the total.
That side is the town council one.
Yeah.
The other one's from the resource centre. And
They're calculated in different ways.
she's got the closing balance around the wrong way, hasn't she? But 28.51 should be the closing balance.
Yeah.
I'll get it. It should be the same as the town council because the template was the same, but I'll make sure it does turn out the same next month.
Thank you, Councillor Ferris. You performed well on holiday.
Just a small point on 9B. The breakdown at the 31st of May, we've got £10 denomination number 1 and 0.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
31st of May breakdown, denomination 10, number 1, amount 0.
That's suggesting you've got,
Oh,
you've either got a 10 or you haven't got a 10.
That's on
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So-
on the resource centre. Yeah, okay. I'll
No, no,
sort
no.
that out.
Wrong.
So I think we propose that we don't approve that one until it gets fixed. I think.
Should we get them?
I'd be happy to approve the office, but
Okay, got
yeah.
the not approved. Everyone happy with that? And that will come back. Accounts payment.
That's in the chairs.
Oh, I've got into the tray. Any questions on accounts payment? Not as a proposal to accept.
to accept.
Councillor Whiteman, seconder.
Yeah.
Still standing. All those in favour? Point D, it says receive a report. Well, I think we agreed at the last meeting that reports would be in time to go out with the agenda, and we've not received a report, so I assume
No.
that's carried forward, is it?
Well, it was completed today because Gertrude's been away, so between the two of us, we've agreed the scope of the work for the year. So I presume the next step will be to provide that to the clerk to then circulate to interested parties to undertake the work.
Should that come to council for the next meeting?
Yeah, scope review audit should be approved by council.
Okay, well, I'll
So-
answer that question.
So if you
Now
could
it comes to the
get
4th
that
of August, yeah?
ready to go in the agenda for the 4th of August, which will be 6 days before.
Yeah, that was done.
We'll
It's
get
done
it to
today.
Clark, get it to
Yeah.
Leslie any time, yeah. Okay. And then I had an action, this goes back to CAPLC and NALC and what was the difference in costs basically. And from what I've been able to ascertain is we are a member of BAPC, which we pay for, and to become a member of NALC you have to be a member of BAPC paid up, which we are, and the cost is 5.6 pence per person on the electorate, which I think is around 3,000, is it? And I'll go back to the
I think
exact
it's about 4,000, I think. Yeah, it's just under 4,000, I think.
So it's going to be about 200 and odd pounds, isn't it? 5.6.
5.6 pence.
At 3,000 it's £168, I'll work that one out. So the difference between being a member of NALC as a council, which you can join as a body, and being members of PLC is quite significant, because that's £30 per councillor per year, and you join individually. It might be worth us, a lot of us, in fact all of us, are attending training with representatives from BAPC on Thursday. It might be worth discussing whilst we're there the benefits of NALC versus CAPALC, and then making a decision beyond that, I suggest. But discharge the action, which was work out the costs.
Sure.
NALC is cheaper because we pay
As a council.
BAPC anyway, which is the preliminary thing that you have to do. Okay, good. Neighbourhood plan, Councillor Watt.
Yeah, so since the last meeting we had the stall at the Fun Day, which was relatively well attended. A few people just wandered in because they were there on the day. Had a few more people sign up, say they were interested. A lot of people sort of like asking what was going on, so all positive there. And at the last meeting, we've come up with some working parties which are in the process of being put together at the moment. There's further information on the Arlesey Neighbourhood Plan website on what they're basically covering things like housing, traffic, environment, sports and recreation, shops and services. Footpaths and cycleways, and one or two others as well that sit on mind at the moment. And obviously we're still open for any residents who want to sort of get involved to come along to any of the meetings. Just drop us an email at any time. And the next event is we are having a briefing session in here in the Village Hall next Tuesday, which has been run by Alison Erdley, who's the consultant from Navigus. So it's a briefing session for people who are going to be on the working party, and it's really just to set expectations, give some help and guidance on how those working parties should form, what their objectives should be, etc. So that's going to be here. So that's the next